From Porcia TopVelocity.net, we're going to do a pitch analysis here of Brennan. We're going to pair them up with Cody Hall, take them into their leg lifts here. Okay. You can see Cody getting inside drive leg, Brennan's slightly inside drive leg. Come into just before leg drive. They're both kind of similar in their leans. It's just Cody is more in a counter-rotated trunk orientation than you, Brennan. He's also, looks like, holding maybe more torsion, even though you probably have even a more linear force vector than him. I would say you definitely have a more linear force vector. It would just be how well you're holding torsion. Sorry, I don't know if I can grab that piece, but you can definitely see your force vector is more linear. So that's good. It's just, can we get more counter-rotated with the trunk and not extend at this point? I mean, you're technically almost in the cocked position, so that's too early. So focus on maybe closing the front side off and pulling the elbow up and back to load the scap like Cody's doing here. So as he opens, Cody gets through his leg drive, pretty decent leg drive. As you open here, your knee goes down, and I don't see a lot of drive. I just see a lot of rotation. You want it with your throwing arm pulling your elbow back, but you're pulling it well above the shoulder. So I think you need to focus on counter-rotating the trunk and not cocking your arms out of leg lift. And we need to get, as we go into open front side, we need to get more drive and extension through the back hip, like you can see Cody here. So at front foot strike, you can see he's got good hip open orientation, shoulders closed orientation. You can see when you really start to stabilize, your hip does get through, and there is some separation here. I would say Cody has more because it looks like he's more in a contralateral tilt position towards his glove side, and because you're so inside 90 compared to him, that's, I believe, going to cause your shoulder to want to open even earlier. So let's see, next frame, as you tuck your glove and keep stabilizing your leg, your shoulders open up, and you can see kind of when your hip was going through, your shoulder was pretty much right there with it. Some separation, but not ideal. You can see with Cody, as his front leg stabilizes and his hips open, that the trunk gets into more extension, because when you don't get into as much extension out of hip to shoulder separation, and you have a very inside 90 arm, you kind of pulls that load away from your upper thoracic or your upper trunk. That you can see Cody here, as his arm really lays back, you can see your elbow pushes out in front of your face. So having this basically longer lever, because the arm is more at 90 as opposed to pinched or pulled inside 90, it helps keep more leverage in the upper trunk into the arm. You can see you're kind of losing that leverage with too much flexion, where the elbow is wanting to push in front of the face. So, working on more hip to shoulder separation, more leg drive to get more hip to shoulder separation. Working on a little bit more just to 90, not so much inside 90 position. So when you go into rotation, your arm really loads back and that thoracic extends. I think all these are going to be important things to really transfer the energy up your body well. And here, Cody doesn't get it to drive, but ideally he could get more drive here. You could get drive here. So two big bodies moving. Cody's more counter rotation is probably what more than likely is giving him more hip to shoulder separation, putting his trunk in a more contralateral position. You're more collapsing back leg, reaching and cocking the arm early, not counter rotating, and then bringing it inside 90 is causing the shoulder and the elbow to go early and get extended in front of the face and not load the trunk, load the arm all the way to pitch release. So working in the med balls to really bring the ball back. Don't let the ball get by your ear hole. To really work on separation, to really work on thoracic extension. Those are the things you really need to emphasize in your med ball throws. You need to work also too on your leg drives, getting more power to really fully triple extend your back leg. Get your front leg to want to even extend into pitch release. I think all these things should open you up and power you up a lot better.